Hey guys, we're here today to talk about director Wong Kar-wai. And I believe he's an absolute master at just capturing the light and dark shades of romantic loneliness. I think that's the theme he's really fascinated by throughout all of his films. There's a couple I've seen of his I didn't love necessarily because I think that, I think romantic loneliness comes in so many different spades that it's very difficult to articulate exactly what it is that you really want out of that, in the first place. So I think that some of the films hit me so deeply that they live in me eternally. And his visual style is just one of the greatest I've ever seen. I mean, I am so captivated by every frame of visual. Like, yeah, he really it does open me in so many ways as far as just seeing how visual colors can really tap into a certain loneliness and then genuinely bring comfort and intrigue and just like and wonder about it. So I think he's an absolutely masterful director. And especially in his first two films he made in the 90s, are literally on the same level as anything, the best work of Tarantino, I think. So we'll start in 1994. We have Chungking Express. This is a masterpiece. I'm so blown away by this film. Again, it does remind me a lot of what a film like Pulp Fiction laid out, but this just has like kind of just is entirely a romantic joy the entire way through. And I'm the kind of guy who's always kind of thrived on the buzz of just having a crush, with somebody. I honestly never wanted to take it further than that because I feel it would corrupt certain innocence and a creative buzz that I need in order to really take off. But, I've always seen directions to go, and when you connect with, a person, I always see it as directions can go better or you can go worse. And I think my anxiety honestly just doesn't really want to test that necessarily. So I'm honestly on the attitude of I'm just do my thing, and I'll just see who, like I can stay in touch with who I connect with all the time. I believe, the person will or will not come around. I don't even know. But hey, I'm good either way. Cause, if I have it, I'll be excited. But if I don't, I'll just keep on creating stuff. And, strive to feel as good as being in love. So that's always kind of been it for me. So, but anyway, about the film, it's just a miracle that this exists. I mean, it really gets into just very interesting characters. It's kind of a two-act structure. I really love that, and the way that the thematic resonance is both very subtle and very rich alike, very rich too. And I feel like what I mean to say by Wong Kar-wai has a masterful eye on romanticism is that this is like a ghost. It's like a man who's completely haunted and possessed by a woman, and kind of like and a woman possessed by a man as well. It's like they're always stalking. The whole thing just really brings like a certain comfort and ease to like. Like there's moments where I'm like, dude, I feel like for even wondering, as a man's natural curiosity, a woman's natural curiosity would be a little intrigued by the opposite sex. So this is a film that kind of just gets to the sweet depths and limits, and just really the buzz of having a crush on someone and never letting go of that feeling of spirit, as well as finding it for yourself, the other finish. That's the best part of it for me. As a good relationship stuff. I mean, that's it. We're good for ourselves and the other day still too. That's just I've never found in my life how to break that train of thought necessarily. But there's a real emotional core behind it. There's a lot of stylistic energy going into it, and it just feels like it's just a cool time. It's really good start to finish, and I really just had a wonderful time with it. I think it's a marvelous film that taps perfectly into what it is to be in love and to find love, and how it makes you go crazy inside, but it ultimately is just a really satisfying feeling that does make you smarter, that does make you more excited and joyful and willing to live. It's a necessity to live, love is, and that's something that a man has to see, especially when he is because you'll find in time that, if you rot in himself for too long, you don't have any of that human interaction. Like you'll kind of lose your touch of, you're getting your own delusion of what love is exactly. You have to kind of start seeing other perspectives, otherwise, like a certain madness comes through. And this is a film that kind of explores the light and dark of a lot of that. I really love the scenes. Like they're just so sweet, adorable. Like honestly, they're just the sensation and buzz. Like it's just what this film is all about and capturing. Just great, just buzz of being in love and having a good time with it along the way. It's like there's a lot of some moments of action going into it. But it's just again, I can't express the color schemes enough. I think that truly is what makes this is just a timeless masterpiece for me. This is just one of the greatest visual films of the 90s. I think he laid out, Wong Kar-wai in general just have my favorite visual style of the 90s. He really just captures that aesthetic perfect, like just raw emotion. Like he just bleeds of emotion through his visuals and colors seems. And then we'll get to my favorite one he made in 1995, Fallen Angels. This is his best work. I am so blown away by this film. It just again, it's in the visual storytelling. That's what I'm ultimately really looking at here. That's just magnificent. I think that visual storytelling is just it feels almost like an updated. It's like like a new wave. It feels like an updated take on just very old-fashioned idealism. But now it's taking the dark, and it's like it's fighting. It's kind of rejecting idealism for a state of eternal loneliness, and I think that's just a beautiful thing because these people are genuinely beautiful. You love these people, but they're just really unhappy inside. And I think this is a film that taps into some really deep emotions. That honestly, the more time passes, the more just this is important. Man. That's just what it feels like to me. Um, it really is like there are some people with beautiful minds who just aren't going to be misunderstood. They're never going to be heard, or they're never going to get the platform they deserve to be the best versions of themselves. So they're going to live the rest of their lives with that irritation living over them. So this is kind of like that dissatisfaction that comes along, with a lot of beautiful minds. It kind of explores what it's like. This is like really just the atmosphere of the city just blows me away the entire way through. I feel like I'm always just mesmerized by what's going on around the city and the lighting and whatnot, while the characters are just kind of in the daze, and you just feel like you're just in the lonely man of the city. This is literally just captures what it feels like being in that city. That rush, aimless rush is always in the air. You don't know what's going to happen next, but you always feel like a certain discomfort. And as you watch the film, somehow Wong Kar-wai literally makes that comfortable. I think that's why he's a genius. So, yeah, this is just like, again, the depths of the melancholy are just some of the greatest things I think the decade of the 90s really were. There was a lot of things tapping into. These are the deepest depths kind of right here. And again, it's like, imagery. I really can't express it. I think that's the best part of it. There's many, many perfect things about this film. But the lighting is perfect. Again, it's just neo-noir-esque in the storytelling. But it's just so great, dude. It's just a film I think about every day. I think that there's just a lot of depth going into it, and just every moment, every frame, I just want to live in it, man. Like it's just a world entirely of its own creation. Like it reminds me of watching something like Kubrick's Barry Lyndon for the first time, where I'm just in a world of its own. It's just the gaze, Like the entire way through, I just want to pause it and just live in what this world is, Like it's just so cool. I'm like, how does a man do this? Like it's just so magnificent, magical. And the dark humor makes it all even better. Like, I was thinking about how another film in the 90s, this made me think of in terms of lighting, is Trainspotting. Danny Boyle films in general. I do think that Wong Kar-wai does this much better now, but I think Trainspotting comes near close to perfect as far as the color scenes. I think he got a near equal job. I think this is slightly more subtle at the time. I've kind of recognized. Trainspotting's been a long time here. This is actually a newer discovery. But yeah. It's just wild too. There's a lot of wild energy, like some great action going into it as well. So, and it just has a real sense of mythology inside of it. I feel like there's something inside of this film that really is kind of devastating in part, and it really is just showing something of an eternal life in a lot of ways. So, I think it's beautiful. In 1997, we have Happy Together. And, I really dig how, it feels like Wong Kar-wai just got darker and darker as it went on. He was all flowery of Chungking Express, and he was, dark flowery with Fallen Angels. And now he's too dark. So, he's capturing this, of course, ironic title. Yep. The best part of the movie for me is the atmosphere, too. Here's the weird thing about me. I think I like the lighter shade of Wong Kar-wai the best. I think as he captured his first two films, I think as he progressed, he became just a little bit almost too far into the dark realm for me, or too detached. There's a certain level of detachment I just really found as the further the filmography went, so the more I just felt this detachment of the characters. But this film, this is a great film from start to finish. So I am engaged by the story, and the characters are good. There is something really interesting and organic about the way everything's laid out here. And I think that the neon energy, it really has neo-noir, kind of directing. And I think that's just a special treat to see it out of the decade of the 90s. But it's a little more one of than maybe a film like Moonlight is. Moonlight, films like that might do this just a little bit more personal. But I think, this is just the visuals. It's all in the visuals and just the organic storytelling. I would say. Then we got in 2000, In the Mood for Love. And this is where I kind of start to fall out a little more. I still love the man. I'm not trying to knock on him. I love him as a director. Of course, he's one of my all-time favorites. But I think it's actually interesting, and I want to highlight the ones I don't like because I still see a merit and power to this film. It's called In the Mood for Love. This came out in 2000. I just don't have a resonance with this film. I really love the cinematography. I think it's one of the most visually breathtaking, gorgeous films ever made. But I just cannot get into the characters. I get this whole like affair thing, like they're just wanting to break out of this marriage. The truth is, I just have never been there before. So I just think I watched this and I'm like, I don't know what's going. Like I understand this is there. This is there for someone, and that's why I still really admire the beauty of this film, even though I don't love it. Even though I don't really like it necessarily. But yeah, like because everything about this is just kind of like showing a certain burnout. Everyone's just kind of fed up and tired of just the people that they're like kind of around all the time that they once loved. But I don't know. Yeah, it just kind of goes on way too much. It's just too much dragging on, and just I feel like I've just seen too many films that just hit me in a way more personal way, like Lost in Translation, Sideways stuff, like where it's just like like a similar like midlife crisis, going out and meeting people and kind of finding yourself again kind of thing. And that's a beautiful, beautiful theme, I think. But this is just one I think was like a blueprint for more to come. I just like the other ones better. But I understand. Like, I'm not trying to knock at anyone who loves this movie. Obviously, I see the merit. I would easily be happy to listen to someone who loves this movie talk about it because I can understand the value. But yeah, it just didn't land any kind of real ball for me. It was just the visuals. Like, I'll pause it and I'll look at it and look at it with awe, but I feel no personal attachment to any of it at any moment. It's an impersonal experience. Like, and then we got in the year 2046. Sorry, that's the name of the film, 2046. It came out in 2004. But yeah, this is, I think, a blueprint for something he's been building up to his entire career. And I like this a little more than in Move to Love, but this also had a similar thing of like, it's like the lighting is almost is as good as the Fallen Angel Chungking Express, but it just isn't that interesting of a story. I think it's just too one note, just like, all right, I can't get the girl. But it just, I don't know. It just doesn't really. I don't think I'm the target audience at the end of the day. I guess is the end deal on that. But it still has mesmerizing scenes. Like there are moments where you can pause it. Like it reminds me a lot of visual like storytelling, similar to like Blade Runner 2049, where I'm just always in awe of what's going on. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's just not one of my personal favorites by him. But yeah, Wong Kar-wai is a genius. I mean, hey, it's those first two films from the 90s, Chungking Express and Fallen Angels. I'm so blown away by those two that he just instantly skyrockets.